Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well today. My name is David Alimo. I'm the founder of Pursue Finance. And what we do at Pursue Finance is we help Gen Z understand their financial layout through our platform. All right, so you guys probably wondering, oh, how did it all start? So it all started one day during the summer. It was August, right? I just purchased my first vehicle. And I realized, I got to come to Mankato really soon. And that means that I have to get ready to pay for my apartment, get ready to pay for my phone bill, and also get ready to just pay for like miscellaneous items. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? So I went ahead, I got a notepad, I started tracking stuff down on it. I'm like, this is kind of ineffective. It's a lot of work that I have to do. So then I went ahead and I created an Excel file. I'm like, wow, this is going somewhere. It's been helping me out a lot. I'm like, this is crazy. So then I went ahead and I added charts and creative layout to it, and that allowed me to realize, I could help out my generation by helping them take minor steps to get to where they want to go. Because this itself will save them a lot of time. It'll also save them a lot of money as well. All right, so this is the first layout that you'll see when you do use our platform, and it just gives you the opportunity to see your card. It allows you to see how much balance you have on there. The visual aspect of it is huge for us. And then this is the transaction history. We feel as if this is a cool little aspect, and it actually allows people to see their amount and their balance at the same time, because on your usual banking app, it can be like moved around, so you can't really see the two together. But this is just another aspect that we have on our platform as well. And then when it comes to budgeting, we feel as if this is huge. It allows people to make sure that they stay within their budget. And once they do go outside their budget, it'll notify them, because this itself is huge. And if you understand how to stay within your budget, that'll allow you to be making more money on a monthly basis than spending more than an average individual does. And we feel as if this is huge as well. And then when it comes to goals, this is huge, right? Everybody has financial goals that they want to achieve. So what our platform allows our individuals to do is, when a check does come in, they'll be able to put a percentage into their goals, and they'll be able to track that on a day-to-day basis until they reach their goal. And we feel as if this is huge because you can see it visually. And then this carries on to it again. You want to go on a vacation trip, instead of having it written down or something, or having it on a whatever, this right here allows you to see it visually, and you can actually track it on a day-to-day basis, and it's amazing. And then when it comes to joint account spending, so I've done some research and I've realized that a lot of relationships don't end up lasting for a long time because of financial issues. Well, now you don't have to worry about that, because now the couples themselves have the ability to track their finances together and pay things together. And as you can tell, the bottom graph right there shows when that individual paid a certain thing, and you'll be able to track that from the past, and it'll just allow the individuals to stay on track within their finances. And then upcoming bills, we feel as if this is really, really big, because it'll allow people to stay on top of their bills. Imagine if you know how much you're going to be paying within that next month. That itself will allow you to be ready for that next month. And as you can tell right here, it shows you mark this paid, so it hasn't been paid yet. But as time goes on, which I'll show you in the next slide, it says done. And that allows you to be like, okay, some stress is relief, because now you don't have to worry about that, because everything is paid. And if it says pending, that means, the transaction is still waiting to go through. But this is a wonderful way for individuals to stay on top of their bills. And this is also a very big aspect of our platform. A lot of people budget in terms of months, but people have to understand you have to budget in terms of weeks. Because if you're able to succeed every single week financially, that will allow you to make more money monthly than you are spending. And it's just a wonderful way for people to create a healthy habit in terms of spending money. And this right here is one of the best features that I like. It's the debt feature, right? A lot of students, when they graduate, they got debt. They want to get a house, want to get a car, and they got credit card debt, right? This just allows them to have an overall feature of where all that debt is going. And as you can tell on the bottom chart right there, that right there shows them the interest rate on their debt within that day. So on a day-to-day basis, they'll be able to see how much interest is going on within their debt, and that is huge. If an individual is able to see that, they'll be able to make payments towards their debt in a good way, and that'll just allow them to stay on top of their bills and everything. It'll allow them to tackle their debt in a good way. All right, so what problem are we trying to solve? We just want to help Gen Z to understand how to budget, right? We want to help them take control of their finances so they can achieve their financial goals. We want to show them that they can take control of their own finances through them. Our distribution channels, we want to use Facebook, Google Ads, we want to use YouTube and Instagram as well to, go ahead and show them what we do offer, because this is where majority of Gen Zs are. When it comes to customer relationship, we'll be using email, SMS texting, and our website to inform them on updates or just news about financial advice. But this is just a wonderful way for us to create a community that will help Gen Z succeed financially. All right, so fixed costs. The fixed cost would be the platform itself and then marketing. Those are the two biggest aspects when it comes to building this platform itself. Types of revenue. At first, our first year, the platform itself will be free. But after that, we plan on monetizing it, and we will also be subscription based. And we do have other features as well that we do plan on implementing, and individuals will be able to unlock that if they want to dig deeper into their finances, and that itself will help them succeed. All right, this is how we plan on getting paid. So everything will be pretty much done through, credit card, debit, and PayPal. And that is my presentation. If there are any questions, feel free to ask. And my email is also david.alimo@pursuitfinance.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your presentation, David. Again, we'll have you pull your slideshow down, and then people can type their questions in chat or use the raise your hand function. One question I had to get us started, when you were looking at the bills section, I think I've seen a recent area in the market where apps like these have been popping up is with helping people manage their recurring monthly subscriptions, identifying those recurring payments and letting people know what they're actually paying for. Is that something you're going to try to incorporate into your website?
Yeah, eventually. The whole thing is we want to start small and then build, because if we have too many features on there, that's going to confuse people. So the biggest thing is just having a niche. We just want to help Gen Z understand their finances. And as soon as we start going from there, then yeah, we'll be able to add more features on top of that. But we don't want to oversaturate it. But that is something that we do intend on doing with the feature that you would have to pay a monthly subscription for.
I see a question from Matt.
All right, so this is what we plan on doing. So we plan on starting off as a website, and then as time goes on, we will end up going into the app realm. It will be on iOS and on the Android platform as well, but we have to take incremental steps in order to get there. So that is our biggest thing.
David, have you identified one thing you should look at? There's companies out there that build these apps or even the platforms. One is the website, but when you look at the app building, you can outsource that or find sources that are reasonable to build it. So I would recommend, and I know you have a very good presentation, but I would recommend starting to look at those so you can tell financial people, or when you start monetizing, where you can allocate those resources, and you can incrementally build some of these apps over time too.
Thank you.
Awesome. Caitlin has a question, and David will let Caitlin read her question out loud for the benefit of the people on Facebook Live.
All right.
Hi, David. Great presentation. Thank you for that. I was just wondering who your competitors would be and how your platform differs from what is already out there.
Yeah, so some of our competitors would be like Chime, and no, not Chime. My fault. It's called Budget, and there's also another one out there as well. But the biggest differences that we have would be our IU UX. It's a whole lot different. It allows us, it attracts our, it's more like Gen Z friendly, and it's just like our charts and our layouts. They don't really have that, you know. It's pretty incremental, and we feel as if that's where we stand out the most. You know, everything is really done in a swipe. That's what we say. It's all done in a swipe. You know, you're standing in line. You know, you're thinking about making a certain purchase. All you do is swipe. Oh, I'm not within my budget, so maybe I should just set it down. I should go elsewhere. You know, that's a reason why we stand out. Everything is done within a swipe. You know, it's a visual aspect. We just want to show you. We don't want you to do anything. You know, you just go on there and you see it, kind of like when you go on Snapchat, you see a notification. You go on there and you see it, you know, it's the same thing. We want to add that feature and that aspect onto the financial realm. You know, it's a new market that still runs kind of old. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of change that can be done within that market.
So, Lindsay has some feedback.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I like to give a low fee to start, you know, with options to pay for add-ons. Like, I feel like people in college, you know, don't have a lot of money in general, so a low fee is good. And then I also liked that you had a dashboard for couples or even maybe roommates that have shared bills, you know, like who's paying what, like for groceries or electricity, or I've seen your presentation once before. I think, like, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, like they don't share financial information necessarily, but they share like who's paying what. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, so that feature works. So like most couples, you know, they're like, so let's say we have Jimmy and we have Sarah. You know, Jimmy just pays stuff from his bank account, and then Sarah pays stuff from her bank account, and there's no like middle ground. You know, they're just getting paid. But what our platform does is it allows them to see in a gradual time who's paying what. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, look, go ahead. Go ahead and look. I just paid this. Oh, go ahead, look, I just paid this, and it's all tracked and it's seen. So it kind of creates a structure to where they know who's paying what. And the whole thing about that is so financial doesn't get in the way of the relationship. So if they're able to manage their finances together, that won't ever be a problem with the relationship itself. And I feel as if that's huge, and it'll prevent, you know, divorces and stuff in that case. Because when you have kids and stuff, it's kind of hard to handle money. So this is a good way for couples to actually finance and just understand their finances, but also learn how to track it together as a couple rather than doing things independently. That's why it's called joint. We bring it together. But yeah, that's the answer for your question.
Awesome. David, another question I had, is anyone using this platform now, or is it still under development?
It's still under development. So right now, what I just showed you, those are wired screens. So that's what we want the platform itself to look like. But the next phase would be creating a demo so people can actually use it. And
Okay.
that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to work on and focus on building, because once that's built, then it'll actually allow people to see how it works, and I'll be able to get better feedback from that.
Have you identified a partner that can connect to the bank accounts and credit accounts and gather that information?
So it's crazy you just asked that. Yeah, I went ahead and did some research on that like literally 2 weeks ago, and I talked to some banks about it. The process itself isn't too hard. It's just a matter of getting the right people to come in and help me do that. But for the most part, that aspect of it won't be bad as well. It's just a matter of getting people who understand that background of it, perhaps bring them on, help me figure out how to go on about it. But it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable.
Awesome. I see Paul has a question for you.
Have you researched, you know, the bank's apps as far as having a similar concept of budgeting and tracking expenses, and how does that compare to yours?
Oh yeah, so like I said, I wish I had more time, because I could have went ahead and just broke it down to you. As you can tell, like if I were to pull up, especially Wells Fargo, US Bank, Bank of America, if you go on their app, it's like, it's, to me, it's kind of plain, you know, it's very vague. And I had done a lot of what's it called, surveys as well. I asked people, you know, when you go on your banking app, you know, what are you looking for? And most people, they just go on there, they just go on there to see how much they have left in their account. I mean, they're not on there for any other reason. And if you also think about this as well, a lot of people aren't notified when they do get, like, let's say I get paid on Friday. I don't get notified. The bank never notifies me that I get paid for that. So like little stuff like that is like, how are banking apps allowing people to really succeed if they're not helping people out in terms of, you know, like breaking down their finances? Like right now on my US bank app, there's no really like way for me to, they don't show me how I can view my finances, how it's broken down. The only thing I'm really getting out of it is I'm just seeing how much money I'm spending. That's it. And then how much money I have in my account. It's just that. And that's pretty much about it. But if banking apps are able to diversify that and allow people to break down their finances and oversee their finances, then that's when I feel as if big things can happen within those banking apps. But right now, banking apps are pretty plain. You know, it's kind of like a plain bagel. You know, there's not much to it. You just see how much money you have and how much money you're spending. That's pretty much about it.
Awesome. Comrade dropped a brief note into chat, and then Lindsay has a question and some feedback.
I'm not sure if you covered this already, but are reminders built in to the program? Like, you know, your electricity is due or your student loan is due this date?
Yeah, so we plan on having, one of the biggest things, like I mentioned earlier, was you don't get notified when you do get paid. Like, isn't that crazy? You don't. But that's one thing that we want to have. But also when you do go to, let's say you go to Menards and you purchase something, it shows you how much you spent, right? But it doesn't show you how much you have left. And that's right there, that right there is what makes people keep on spending, because they're not wary about how much they have left. So that's the biggest thing. If you do go shopping, I want to show you how much you have left. Because I promise you, if you go shopping and it shows you how much you have left, you might stop. You might, all right, okay, it's time to go home. You know, it's enough spending for today. So it's like little stuff like that. And we also do want to set reminders for individuals. You know, go on the app today and see how much interest is being built on your debt, you know, stuff like that. That, you know, will allow people to stay on top of their finances.
Yvonne has a suggestion, and then Bobby has his hand raised.
I put a link in chat to a workshop we did recently using a tool called Marvel app. And it might be handy, since you've got such great graphics that you've already put together, you can, in that app, in about half an hour, you can make a working app, you know, that people can click on, and then you could demo it. And I'm happy to walk you through it, but it is also a video I put into chat just in case others have app ideas too.
Thank you.
Yeah, David, thank you. And I love the visuals that you put together for the for your app. They're very they're understandable, and they're easy to understand. And visually, you can see them. And the first thing that came to my mind is that since I'm the oldest guy here, this would be a wonderful app for seniors. I mean, seniors would love this kind of thing because they can not only understand it, they can see it. And that's big for seniors. So I would explore the opportunities in senior development homes.
Thank you for that advice. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're coming up on 9:30, so if one of the organizers wants to ask the final 1 million cups question, and then David, we did get your email popped into chat if anyone else wants to follow up with any additional questions or feedback.
All right.
So David, how can we as a 1 Million Cups community help you with your business?
The biggest thing right now that I need help with would be just being able to connect with other financial individuals, people who are in the financial realm. That'd be nice. That's pretty much the biggest thing, because I myself, I have a lot of questions, and being able to ping pong ideas from an individual like me and a person within a financial institution, that'd be amazing. Maybe perhaps things could, you know, be created and connected and grow from there. So that's number one right there. That'd be amazing.